So, I have watched ReZero. Yes, all of it. Every episode, every gut punch. And let me tell you, this anime, it's insane. I've been obsessed for weeks. Now, if you haven't heard of it, ReZero. Starting life in another world is an isekai. Yeah, I know, another isekai. But trust me, this one's different. At its core, ReZero follows Suboru Natsuki, a high school student who gets transported to a fantasy world. On the surface, it might sound like your typical isekai setup, but what sets it apart is Suboru's ability, Return by Death. This power allows him to rewind time to a set point every time he dies. At first, I thought it was an incredible advantage, a do-over button for life. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that this power is far from a blessing. Imagine dying over and over again, feeling every ounce of pain, remembering every gruesome detail, and then waking up, knowing you have to relive it all just to save the people you care about. That's what Suboru goes through. Each death takes a piece of him, dragging him deeper into trauma and depression. Watching him break down, lose hope, and still find a way to push forward is both heartbreaking and inspiring. What makes ReZero stand out for me is how it goes beyond the typical fantasy adventure. It's not just about Suboru's power or the fantasy world he's thrown into. It's about survival, resilience, and the lengths he will go to protect Emilia, a half-elf girl fighting for the throne. Along the way, he faces insane challenges like the witch's cult and political rivalries, all while trying to hold himself together. This show doesn't just entertain, it makes you question what it truly means to be strong. The depth of ReZero is something I can't stop thinking about. The first 2 seasons are essentially just the prologue for the overarching story. The plot is filled with twists and turns that no one could possibly predict. These plot twists don't just shock the audience. They drive the narrative forward, leading to some of the most emotional moments in the series. They elevate the themes and characters to even greater heights, making the show a truly unforgettable experience. And speaking of characters, they are absolutely incredible. Every single character in ReZero is multi-dimensional and brimming with depth. At first glance, some might seem simple, but as the story unfolds, their complexities are revealed. Take Beetlejuice, for example. Initially, he appears to be nothing more than a madman in Season 1. However, as the story progresses, we learn about his tragic backstory, which completely recontextualizes his character. This depth isn't limited to just a few individuals. It applies to every single character in the show. To fully deconstruct most of them would require a video for each, and even then, it would be difficult not to oversimplify. But let's talk about Rem. Oh man, where do I even start? Rem's role in ReZero is nothing short of iconic. At first glance, she's the quiet, dutiful maid alongside her sister Ram. But when Suboru's repeated deaths unravel her story, we see her true self, a warrior haunted by guilt, trauma, and an unshakable desire to atone for her past. Her loyalty to Suboru isn't born out of blind devotion. It's a conscious choice to believe in someone who sees her worth, even when she struggles to see it herself. The infamous episode 18 of Season 1 isn't just a turning point for Suboru, it's Rem's defining moment. Her monologue about love, hope, and choosing to move forward despite suffering is one of the most raw, emotionally charged scenes in anime. She doesn't just save Suboru's life, she saves his soul, refusing to let him wallow in self-loathing. What makes Rem so compelling is her duality. She's both gentle and ruthless, a caretaker who will obliterate enemies without hesitation. Her love for Suboru isn't idealized. It's messy, selfless, and painfully human. Even when the story shifts focus in later arcs, her absence is felt deeply, a testament to how vital she is to Suboru's growth. And let's be real, Rem's popularity isn't just about her kindness or her iconic "I love you" speech. It's about how she challenges Suboru to confront his flaws, to strive for better, even when he feels unworthy. She's the embodiment of unconditional support, but she's never a pushover. She'll call him out when he's wrong, and that balance makes her irreplaceable. But the character who stands above them all is the protagonist, Natsuki Suboru. Suboru is one of the most well-written, realistic, and relatable protagonists I've ever encountered in fiction. ReZero isn't a typical story with an overpowered protagonist who can do no wrong. Suboru is deeply flawed. He makes mistakes, plenty of them. He's human. At the start, he's insufferable. He constantly makes a fool of himself, acts entitled, and refuses to acknowledge his flaws. These traits made him hard to like at first, but then came episode 18 of season 1, the single greatest episode of anime I've ever watched. In this episode, Suboru reveals his true feelings. After everything he's been through, all his pride and entitlement have crumbled, leaving only self-hatred. Suboru wasn't ignorant of his flaws. He just didn't know how to change. Instead of fixing his mistakes, he tried to justify them. He repeated the same errors over and over, spiraling into a dark place. He saw himself as a failure, someone who only made things worse. Season 2 takes his character arc even further. Suboru confronts his past, the very thing that led him down his dark path. It's about learning to love himself and realizing that there are people who care about him. Season 2 reveals the toxic expectations he faced as the son of Natsuki Kenichi. Breaking free from those expectations allows Suboru to focus on becoming his best self. Suboru's journey is far from over, and there are so many more layers to his character that I haven't even touched on. To fit them all here would make this video far too long. The animation and music in ReZero are also worth highlighting. The series doesn't just rely on flashy visuals. It focuses on creating immersive environments, character expressions, and emotional intensity. One aspect I absolutely adore is how the series portrays the sky. Whether it's the ethereal glow of a moonlit night or the ominous hues of a stormy dusk, each frame feels meticulously crafted. The night sky, in particular, is utterly breathtaking. Its swirling constellations and vibrant auroras look so real. It's as if you could reach out and touch them. These celestial backdrops aren't just eye candy. They amplify the emotional weight of key scenes, like quiet moments of introspection between characters or the tense calm before a tragic twist. Studio White Fox's attention to detail ensures that even the heavens themselves become a storytelling device, reflecting the mood and foreshadowing events with every shift in color and light. Every action scene feels dynamic and fluid, while the slower, more emotional moments are given the weight they deserve through subtle movements and lighting. Even something as simple as sunlight filtering through trees or the oppressive darkness of a witch's miasma becomes a visual metaphor for hope or despair. Studio White Fox has done an excellent job capturing the essence of the story and ensuring the visuals match its emotional depth. The music in ReZero is on another level entirely. The soundtrack is rich, emotional, and expertly tailored to the series. Tracks like Rondo of Love and Darkness and Hymn of Despair and Atonement draw inspiration from classical hymns, incorporating themes of death and despair seamlessly into the music. These OSTs, alongside others like Requiem of Silence and Tact of Heroes, perfectly reflect the emotional and narrative beats of the series. For me, ReZero is a masterpiece because of how it makes me feel. It's not just about the incredible plot, unforgettable characters, or stunning animation and music. It's about the themes it explores: self-discovery, self-love, and self-improvement. These themes resonate deeply with me, and I think they will with you too. ReZero isn't just entertainment. It's a profound exploration of human nature, growth, and the struggle to become the best version of oneself. If you haven't watched ReZero yet, I highly recommend giving it a try. What are you waiting for? Whether you're here for the heart-wrenching story, the complex characters, or yes, even the waifus, this series has something for everyone. It's a journey that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.